Collective, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist, and we're going to do your love reading. We're going to use the original Rider-Waite. Well, not the original, but wouldn't that be cool? For the feminine, because I still did not disinfect the cards that fell on the floor for the feminine deck. Yesterday was another kind of just a mosey day. It was good, had some good conversations and everything, but there was some doubt. And see, I just cleared my throat there, so there could be doubt on somebody's end with the Queen of Swords there and the High Priestess. This is going to be about the feminine's capacity. I can tell this is going to be about the feminine's capacity to discern between what is fear and what is intuition, right? Because our gut signals both. But if you are a child of chaos, your interpretation of what you should fear ends up being those that you should be able to trust, and that sends a message that trickles through your entire life, especially in love, that it's not love unless I fear it. And as you learn and grow with your shadow work, you go, well, you discover, oh, if I fear something, don't do it. That's the devil's work. That's lower. That's not, I need to follow my intuition. But there's a fracture between those two things, because you've been, the Empress in reverse, because you've been so jaded. The Emperor in the upright. I'll show you how to love me. I was just listening to that. It's from Bed of Roses. And then it was just referenced in, oh my gosh, now I can't remember her name. Another reader. Oh crap. Well, I'll have to look it up and then put in the comments if I remember. Remind me to remember, people. Okay. Okay, we have the Ace of Swords. Somebody's like, not Sword in the Stone, romancing the stone. Well, Sword in the Stone maybe as well, maybe the name Arthur, or that kind of knight energy. He's a page boy. He's like an apprentice, right? So age difference, emotional difference, but he's the underdog. He's the least likely one that's going to pull the sword out of the stone, but he's pure of heart. So there could be something about this masculine that maybe you wouldn't expect them to be the love of your life. It's going to be unexpected. They're sort of an underdog. But they've also been through this sense of people doing them wrong. Trusting in people, seeing the potential in people. Maybe they have like a caregiver's thing. They could be a healer, or they could be have the savior. Masculines typically have that savior complex, and feminines have the healer complex, the wounded bird syndrome. Oh, you're broken? Let me take you in and expend all of my resources on you. Energetic, emotional, all my resources on you. Money, whatever. Could be a lot of things, right? My body. You could have had children with this person, and if you're a female feminine, that could have been, my body, my mind. What is that from? I've seen that. Okay, so I'm getting two things. I think it's Jennifer Aniston that's saying it. She's like, I've given you everything, you selfish, she's like, it's actually giving me three things. And then, so I don't know what that's from, where Jennifer Aniston, but I can see Jennifer Aniston, like, my body, and that's also in The Breakup, right? So if it's not children, maybe you were with someone who acted like a child. There could be a mother involved here that's like a very strong feminine, but a little bit cold. That's because I'm also getting where the mother's talking to, and it's Jon Hamm, who narrates one of my favorite series, Legion, but Scorpio energy. I don't know what Jon Hamm is, but anyway, wow, I'm jumping around a lot. A lot of references coming in. But she's like, you're fighting for your right to be a baby. The mom's saying this to Jon Hamm. And I don't know what the show is because I don't watch it. These are just, clips of things that I've seen. Little clips. There's like not a full picture here. It's just little clips, little bits of information. So somebody could be, with that page with the swords that I was getting, somebody could be just gathering information. So, untamed heart. Okay, calm down. So go back to Romancing the Stone, right? Michael Douglas, and her name's evading me. Somebody could be trying to find out your name. They could have seen you and they could be asking like about the feminine's name. What is their name? Where do they go? What do they, they're gathering. That's the Page of Swords, gathering information. Could be dealing with an air sign, but somebody who's operating out of that, gathering information, notes, analyzing, friendly stalker vibes, okay? Because they're not looking for information so that they can misuse it or, use it against you anyway. They want to use it for you. They want to know how to come to you correctly because they get this sense from interacting with you however they've interacted with you. It doesn't feel like it's been a ton of interaction. Or, maybe you haven't spent time alone. Maybe you're always around other people, so they can only get little bits and pieces of who you are. But they've gotten enough information to understand, and they just understand your energy, that feminines, you have dealt with a lot of untrustworthy individuals. Okay, so Romancing the Stone, yeah, he rescues her, and she's a writer, and he's like her protector, but there's the scene, all of that loop, okay? So maybe those other references mean something, but I'm going to come back to my original reference because otherwise I'll end up out in the ethers somewhere and there's no telling when I'll come back. Where he's hacking through the woods and he cuts a snake. A snake is coming at her. They're in a downed plane, I believe, smoking a bunch of marijuana that somebody was trying to smuggle, and obviously the plane didn't make it. And they're going to Cartagena, and there's a treasure map and the heart, and there are caves, and it's fantastical, wondrous. It's very Danielle Steele, maybe the name Daniel Steele, the letters DS, but they are, going through the jungle, and he's got this machete there, and I don't know what Michael Douglas's sign is, but maybe the name Michael, Doug, MD, maybe they're a doctor. They're the love doctor for sure. Anyway, this is somebody who wants to bring balance into your life. This is a masculine who wants to bring balance. They see that you're multitasking, you're doing it all yourself, and they don't like that. There's a protective nature about this masculine. It's like, I don't like that. I want to help you. And they see that you're kind of struggling, and so they may come in with the swords here, because air signs can come off kind of cold. They may come in with like, you need to fix yourself, but it's coming from a loving, protective nature, and they do want to help. But the way that they present it might not be the warmest. We'll see. But that could be a message for somebody. Now, they're not going to be cruel or anything, but they may just speak in a way that's like very matter of fact. Because there's a scene in there where she's in her heels and he just takes her shoe and cuts the heel off. He's like, get it together, so there's a little bit of like a energetic irritation with this person. Like they almost may rub you the wrong way when you first meet them. But they're not going to be overtly mean or cruel or anything like that. But it's just, that tension. Brittany runs a marathon. Her friend in there, somebody could have a gay male friend or some masculine that is, because that's the situation there. Somebody's name could be Brittany, but she's getting her life together, and there's tension. So she's doing a live-in situation, house dog sitting for people, and she gets hired to do that, and she's struggling to make money. She spends all her money on, partying and all of that, and then she's got to get her life together. And so she takes up running. She goes to running groups. So maybe you're trying to socialize again. Maybe you've been in a hermit mode, or you've just been going through that sort of repetitive cycle of not doing anything that's good for you, not doing anything that's propelling you forward or advancing you, spiritually or otherwise. Now, she meets a guy that's living in the house. He's like a squatter, and he's a pain. He's like a bum, and she's like so irritated with him. So this could be the feminine that's, acting this way with the masculine. Males can be feminine, females can be masculine, right? So where your energy is. Masculine is active energy, it pursues. If that's the mode you're in, maybe you have a lot of fire and air placements. You have a lot of masculine elements that just kind of lead the way energetically. And so you could be a feminine, but maybe you operate out of a masculine energy, or vice versa. But he's definitely in a feminine energy. And she's working out with her friend, who is, he says, all tension is sexual tension. He's like, the moment I learned that about I got along much better with my uncle. And then he's like, it's a joke. He tells her, joke. But she's kind of concerned for a moment, like, oh gosh, is that the case? There could be abuse in someone's past. We've talked plenty about, coping mechanisms. Somebody could use humor as a coping mechanism to reveal secret truths. That's what comedy is anyway. It's just drama with a laugh, right? Tragedy with a laugh. But the world is this ending. It's an ending and always a new beginning, because as the world turns, something kind of dramatic here. Maybe something's quite dramatic, because I am getting the drama and theater, and I just got a ton of movies and references right at the beginning, and somebody's kind of being a baby. So there could be someone who's a bit of initially they maybe were kind of operating out of a baby mentality. It could have been a masculine that was operating out of a feminine mentality, wanting to receive, wanting all the attention, but not willing to do the masculine work for a feminine. So, those could be things that make you irritated, All right, let's see with this feminine. The world here looks like, it reminds me of Miss Universe, because she's got these batons or whatever, these little candle batons, and that's like Miss Congeniality, where it's the quiet ones you got to watch out for. So maybe somebody's all talk, and maybe somebody's very quiet, but there's a wildness inside this feminine that I think could be a Leo involved that wants to draw this out, or fixed signs, because the world is fixed signs. King of Swords. But yeah, she's kind of like, oh, the perfect date. There's somebody that's a little bit Pollyanna, and that's also gives me Grease, where, look at me, I'm Sandra D, but then she's, tell me about it, stud. So there's a lady in the streets, I almost said lady in the sheets, freak in the streets. Maybe that's the case. Maybe somebody's very, maybe this feminine's very much in their masculine energy in the streets, out in the world, because they've had to build this protective masculinity, and do everything themselves and be very hyper independent. And maybe in the sheets, behind closed doors, they're quite delicate. So there could be that flip, or vice versa. Maybe somebody's appears like they're a goody two shoes, or they whatever, but then behind closed doors, they're different. And that's not just in the sheets, right? But just, it's the more that this masculine gets to know this feminine behind closed doors, I think that they're going to realize they're Ooh, Ace of Swords again. There's going to be a lot of talk. Somebody was blocked here, though, because we have the Five of Wands with this masculine Ace of Swords. The World here. Yeah, maybe somebody spoke out of turn or said something the feminine didn't like. They're like, no. And maybe the masculine didn't. Maybe they thought they were talking to the version of the feminine that the feminine was revealing publicly, and the behind closed doors version came out. And so there's like the script was flipped. Because the Ace of Swords is with the World here. And this woman that's depicted here, I mean, she's free. No bra, no shoes, floating around just like la la la. And there's that King of Swords. He finally came out. Good. Finally came out. This is someone who went silent. This masculine went silent. Yeah, okay, so they see the feminine doing everything on their own. And the Four of Pentacles is clarifying the Two of Pentacles, because this is that Virgo analytical, very headspace. Like, I'm going to hoard everything. This is the miser. Maybe somebody, yeah, they came in and tried to take from this balance. They corrupted this balance somehow. Corrupted sounds like a very intense word. King of Wands. That could be past energy. You could be dealing with a Sagittarius. We have Temperance here. Death. We've got Scorpio there again. Yeah, somebody was put in their place. Because that Queen of Swords is coming out with the King of Swords, but she didn't come completely out. So it's like, yeah, this masculine, I think they thought that they could. King of Wands again. Two of Wands and the Lovers. Ace of Wands. Okay, so now, yeah, they're coming. This masculine feels like they were silent. They didn't speak up. So the feminine blocked them energetically with the 5D, with the Five of Wands here, that 5D energy, they blocked them. I don't have time for this. I barely trust people. I barely trust myself sometimes, especially when it comes to love, because of this fracture in the discernment between head and heart. What is logically right? What is emotionally right? Because when you're a child of chaos, those two, they tell you, they send very mixed signals. Your heart will be like, yes, this is everything I could have wanted. This is different. This is special. But if you go into the headspace, you're like, nope, this is the same thing I've dealt with before. So maybe you cut out with the World here. Maybe the feminine masculines, that represents you cutting something out. And this is brand new energy. It's a brand new person, vessel-wise. Or this could be a reunion. This could be somebody coming back that is brand new energy in the same vessel. They just rose up. They rose to the occasion, because it's like when you met their swords, their coldness with this heat, this Five of Wands, it turned this King of Swords into the King of Wands, and the Lovers is coming. The Moon. That's like, I feel like somebody just went, well, when? When is the Lovers coming? Let's see what we can get on that. I usually don't do timelines, but we'll see if something comes out. Okay, that's too much. The Ten of Wands. As soon as a burden is laid down, High Priestess. So yeah, I'm going to have to go back to the truth here. The timeline, divine union is a frequency. Divine timing is a frequency. The High Priestess here, it's like, you know when this is coming. Five of Pentacles. It's as soon as somebody, King of Swords comes back, Ten of Swords, somebody stops deceiving themselves. The Fool and the Three of Cups. Somebody brings in an offer to go out on a date, maybe. Go. If you want to get to know me, stop stop surrounding us with people. Maybe the masculine has been kind of orchestrating it that way because they're afraid to be alone with the feminine, because they're afraid of what they might discover about themselves, because this feminine is a mirror here with the moon and the high priestess, Pisces and Cancer energy. So maybe this masculine is like a smooth talker. You know, they've gotten away with giving the bare minimum, or like being almost like a Riddler, right? With the King of Swords. But Ace of Swords is new. They have to learn a new way of communication. That communication style does not work with this feminine. The Tower, yeah. This feminine was a tower for this masculine. The Magician. The Wish card. 9 of Cups. Wish fulfillment and cultivation. 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, 5 of Pentacles in both energies. And the Fool in both energies. Fools. We're all just fools in love. Chief of Blades. Holy shit. The King of Swords. This is heavy air energy. Heavy air energy. Ariel in the sky. When you lose small mind, you free your life. Life is a waterfall. We won in the river and won again after the fall. I don't know if those are the words, but that's what I sing when I play Ariels. I like to listen to System of a Down slowed, like Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie. I like to listen to those artists slowed. Tool. Yeah, it's like I don't know, erotic. So anyway, rabbits, the number 4. But Ariel was the number 4, and it kept trying to slide out there. Someone might be trying to slide into your DMs. But we have this, now we've got Lumiere. Yeah, Lumiere, he's all, he's a very smooth talker. This is someone who could feel like, and it's like it gives me like a Knight of Wands energy here. Someone who's a very smooth talker with the romance, and buys flowers, and it's like, this feminine hates flowers or something. You know, like they just hate all that rehearsed romance. So this feminine called the masculine to being, like she says, the French maid, the feather duster. She's like, I have been burned by you before, you know. And he's like, yes, you know. He's like always wanting to woo her, but she's, you know. And both of you want it. Both of you are tempted by this connection. They're like, no, but yes. It's like, it's cold outside. I really can't stay. I have to go away. But she's like, oh no, I can't. It's cold. I should go. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But there you are. Again, I'm looking for my chapstick. I thought it was here. From my crusty crusts. Who's that lady that does that? My crusty crusts. Oh well. I'll just drink coffee and dehydrate more. But I don't care, this coffee's so good. Okay. And I found out that they were actually open. They just had later hours, and they haven't changed their information on Google. If you watched my reading yesterday where I rambled about my coffee place not being open, but I was still pleasantly surprised by the coffee I got at the gas station, because they had, you know, cool flavors or whatever. And so when I went today, they were like, oh no, we were open, we have later hours, but it still says that we're closed online. And I was like, you know, so there's some sort of misconception here, what's the communication? So we have Aurora, the little blue you have a guardian angel here that's watching you. They could be represented through rabbits, bunnies. The tortoise and the hare, that also gives me that. The tortoise and the hare, it's like you two kind of, you're like always ships in the night. You're passing each other, but you haven't docked at the same place yet. This person may bring you flowers. Maybe you enjoy flowers. Personally, I don't like cut flowers because I feel like, give me something that I can put in the ground that's going to grow. So maybe that's something that you also feel. But there's that that kind of thing out there. Man, words are tough today. There's that sort of known stereotypical whatever joke, I guess. I don't know. I'll just say it and then you guys can tell me what the fuck it is. Where if a man brings a woman flowers, it's like, what did you do wrong? He must have cheated, like, what's her name? So maybe flowers are some kind of trigger for you. Maybe that has happened in the past. Maybe you were cheated on and you got flowers or something, or somebody used it as a cover-up, or somebody just love bombed you, or gave you gifts with their bad behavior to make it all go away, and that doesn't work anymore. But bells on the back here, 13, maybe the number 13, that's also Scorpio energy there. It's also the number 4, so 4s are important here, which is the union. It's the 11-11. You could be seeing 4, 13, 11, 13. 13 is, there's a lot of ways that you can interpret that. Anyway, so maybe those numbers mean something to you. But Belle is dealing with a beast, right? She's dealing with a prince, a pampered, arrogant, pain in the ass boy. I mean, he was transformed as a boy. And I always say, having been in the military, when I've met very high-ranking individuals who were basically 17-year-old boys, 18-year-old boys, like when they got into the military. Or if you get into a marriage young and you come out into the dating world and you haven't been in the dating world for 10 years or more, it's like, it's a whole new world. With the world here, it's like, it's a whole new world. And you're kind of starting out as the age, emotionally, the age that you went in, right? I assume the same as, with prison or other circumstances. I'm just speaking on the ones that I've experienced, that I've, or witnessed in other people, where it's like there's some kind of like emotional stunting. It's like he got changed as a young, and maybe they have like a witchy mother that's like a dark magic feminine in their past, that like transformed them into a beast, something in the feminine energy, all because he was a butthead. Like, yeah, maybe he needed to be taught a lesson, and maybe this love is this masculine's lesson as well. It's both of you. It's like you're the lesson, feminines, as the tower. You're the feminine that has like activated this masculine to rise up, and it's like it's a old lesson that maybe they were just always kind of like maybe they didn't have a good father figure or something. Maybe they got involved with gangs or got in the military or got into something where they were like in and out of the system, possibly. It's like they were emotionally stunted. That's all I'm trying to say. They were emotionally stunted, and this feminine is rising them to emotional growth. And that's, get out of here, with the rose. It's like he's safeguarding this rose and protecting it, but you can't, and that's like his heart. And there's so much fear and concern with it all the petals falling and them being stuck this way. The masculine may have felt like, I will always just be this way. Maybe I'm just never going to find love. Maybe it's not in the cards for me. Well, masculines, if you're here cross-watching, it is in the cards for you. If you're willing to do the work, right? Yeah, because this is a masculine who they're not wholly bad, right? They just had some circumstances that sort of transformed them into a monster. But they're not an idiot. And, they're not an idiot. They're not a child anymore. And they have actually, through this process of becoming a beast, learned quite a bit. It was part of their lesson to be stuck in this body. Maybe they have some sort of like disfiguration or something where they feel insecure about, or some sort of like speech impediment or something. It's like with the King of Swords, it's like maybe that's why they're quiet, or maybe they I'm just hearing Tourette's, like maybe they just say things and without thinking. And this feminine is here to show them, like, you're not all wrong. Like, what you're saying isn't wrong. So they could have quite a bit of anger, and it's like the beast had a right to be angry. Like this crazy old fucking hag came to his door and was like, "Oh, you should let me in." Well, I don't know you. So yeah, there's some sort of like some older feminine in crone energy was pissed off at this masculine and punished them. They punished them for it. Could be a past lover, could be a mother figure, right? Or, they could have gotten into a very hyper masculine environment where there was not any softness or femininity around them to show them, to lift the glass casing around their heart. The Fool. Yeah, they never trusted anybody. They never felt safe enough to take a leap of faith into anything. No one showed them faith. Faith is a feminine trait. It is a feminine trait because it is trusting that you will receive all that you are divinely orchestrated to receive. It is the trust in the unknown. It's trust in something greater than yourself, something outside of yourself. It's of the unseen. It's of the emotions. Faith is not going on the tangible, right? That's the tangible, and that's where trust is built, right? So there's faith and trust. They're different. Trust is built. It takes investment. People break your trust, and it gets harder to earn that trust of that person. Sometimes it's impossible. Once trust is broken, good luck getting it back, because you've revealed yourself. So there's something about the masculine comes off as like a realist because of the experiences they've had in the 3D. That's their trust. And I think this feminine, it's broken their trust, and this feminine is calling them to trust in them. It's funny because it's the Warrior of Vessels on this Native American Tarot box, the Warrior of Vessels. So it's the Knight of Cups, but on the side here, it's the Fool. In the Rider-Waite, it's the Fool. U.S. game system. Rated E for everyone. Maybe the letter E. 10 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands, the Emperor in reverse. Let's read more for the Emperor in reverse. Let's see about this masculine here. Actually, I'm going to read from the Native American Tarot because I just looked at it. But the Fool is also on the front. The Fool is the faith. It's taking that leap of faith. It's trusting that, and that's the thing. It's where faith and trust meet. Devil. 15, the number 6. And then 666 is no, thank you. Not today, Satan. 6 is the number of love. There's the world with that tortoise. See, I was getting the tortoise in the hair. One of you operate very differently. One of you just sort of trust the process, and the other one is like, go, go, go. So maybe you have a lot of feminine placements, and then they have a lot of masculine placements, and that's how you operate. You operate in very different ways. Operate opposition, right? OP. Who down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. So yeah, there's something with those letters possibly. The Devil, the world, 21, that's a 3. So 3 is half of 6, which is self-love. It's also the celebration. It's the Holy Trinity. It's me, myself, and I, body, mind, and spirit, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, divine masculine, divine feminine, divine creation. Same ingredients, different recipes. Yeah, look at this white buffalo. This masculine is shape-shifted. They've turned into the monster that all these villagers call them to be. You know, it's like Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein's monster was created by this mad scientist who wanted to play God. So there could be a parental figure who was a narcissist, right? Because narcissists want to play God. And yeah, this masculine, they've been through it. I feel like they're very well dressed. Like if they wear a lot of white, I am not someone who can wear a lot of white. There's going to be paint, turmeric, dog stuff. I'm not, I love the color white. But yeah, this person is like, if they wear white shoes or white, undershirts or button-ups or something, like I feel like they're a very clean dresser, and they take care of their clothing and their appearance. But this is like 10 of Wands almost. Like this is the burdens of what everyone else, look at these knives. They're like all these jabs. This person's always gotten like these jabs, verbal jabs, people, spreading rumors, gossip, just always around them, like wishing ill upon them. And this devil, I almost said this fool here, so Aries Aquarius energy, but the one that's willing to, it's like they've been made a fool by society, by people, and it's been proven time and time again that you cannot trust people. That is the conception that this masculine has about love, about connecting with other people. Their heart space is very encased. It is locked down tight because they cannot trust people. They've never been able to. It's not a misconception. It's not a delusion. It is experience-based. They cannot trust people. They've never been able to trust anybody. And then we've got this feminine over here in this tortoise energy, like, okay, I'll wait. They're by the tree of life. They are the life giver to this masculine. But this is the type of masculine, like once, and that's giving a lot of scorpionic energy as well, because Scorpios are very tough to trust. I mean, experience-based, they're tough for me to trust. But they don't trust easily, right? Scorpios do not trust easily. Which they have always been like, you're not a planet, you're a moon, you're a dwarf planet, you're not even in our solar system. What are you? You're not a water sign. You're not a large underwater crustacean. You need to make yourself very small and come up on land and live in the desert, and we'll misconceive you and call you the fire sign. People call Scorpio the fieriest of the water signs. No, it's not Capricorn. It's Cancer, the opposite of Capricorn, because they are cardinal water, right? Cardinal is fire. Scorpio is fixed water, so they are earth and water. But fixed energy gets misconceived and misinterpreted because it is decisive, right? And it is determined. And so when it locks in, it's all or nothing. So it's like once this masculine does open up to trust you, they're watching. And I think that more and more they had a misconception. There was probably some sort of confrontation, like, oh, you're probably like everybody else. That was the misconception this masculine had about the feminine. But I think they've been watching quietly and gathering information, and they're like, oh, I was wrong. So there could be an apology coming in, or maybe just them coming in will be the apology, and the feminine isn't going to, like, I'm not here to punish you, I'm not here to require, like, I don't need you to come groveling back. Like, you coming back tells me everything I need to know. Oh, I like that. I really like that energy, because it's we don't have to talk about it, we don't have to harp on it. Like, you energetically know what's going on here. Wow, I'm getting so emotional. Imagine that. So it's just that, you coming back is all I need to know. We don't need to talk about it. I don't care. Maybe this masculine went and entertained other connections, or maybe they just, it's been very challenging for this feminine to, like, be kind of holding down the fort here. It's like they're holding it down with sitting on this tortoise, like, and one of my things is I won't wait forever. One of my Taco Bell sauces or whatever that I did not use. I get the impression that this feminines, no, they won't wait forever, but they are waiting. They are very gracious with their time, and it's kind of like, even if years go by, and whenever this masculine comes back, like, they're your white buffalo with the devil there. They're your white buffalo. And so it's like a red thread. It's not an attachment, it is a connection. So if you are doubting that, if you were wondering if this was a true connection, in whatever moments you did share or you will share when you meet this person, this feels a little older though. So it feels like something which could be represented in past lifetimes. This could be a past life love coming in for the first time. Everybody has different ways of receiving love. Some people are like, no, I'm not going to deal with anybody that I've dealt with before. Like, once you've broken my trust, once it's gotten to where I've said, no, I don't want to be around you anymore, I'm done. I'm not going to take you back. I don't go back, because every time you go back, it's just bad, right? And then some people are like, I will wait forever for this person. I will never give my love or my heart to anybody else, right? So whichever way you resonate, whichever way you operate, is how this is going to be your reality, because you are a divine alchemist, you are a master magician, and if you are on the divine path, then you are welcoming in unconditional love. So this person may come back, and they may look completely different, and you may be like, it is you, like, even though it's like you just sat there and watched him turn into him, and come on, Belle. I thought you were smart. Maybe somebody's book smart, but not street smart. Something about the streets and all that. Spiritual techniques. Affirmations for activating the crown chakra, right? That's Sagittarius, Jupiter. So activating it here is the mantra. It's a whole poem here. Crown chakra meditations. Page 182. O flame of light bright and gold, O flame most wondrous to behold, I am in every brain cell shining, I am light's wisdom all divining, ceaseless flowing fount of illumination flaming. I am illumination. I'm kind of picky about things rhyming, but anyway. So, and then the other one is, I am light, thou Christ in me, set my mind forever free, violet fire forever shine, deep within this mind of mine. God who gives me daily bread, with violet fire fill my head, till thy radiance heaven-like makes my mind a mind of light. Vitality is the word I'm seeing here. I just saw Merlin. I swear I just saw Merlin. So yeah, something that came out for a reason. Something about Sword in the Stone. There is like a mentor, a wizard type energy here. Some sort of, this masculine could be a warlock, right? We talked about that yesterday. We talked about that, right? Yesterday, class? I am preparing for a yoga class on Wednesday. So mentally I am kind of getting back into teacher mode. It's been a while since I've instructed a class. And I am really looking forward to it because that is a happy place of mine. When creepy people don't fuck it up, and try to ruin a good thing. But that's also what Merlin teaches him. He teaches this boy how to harness his power. So there could be this masculine, as the Page of Swords, can also be someone who is, the Page of Swords can be, if you do it for just like an individual reading or a career reading, the Page of Swords represents somebody who's gathering information. They're gathering information for a new skill. Maybe they're going to school, right? This masculine could be like learning a new trade or skill or something, and they've got some sort of mentor teaching them. They could be asking elders around them that have been married for a long time or been in partnerships or have experience with that. They could be going to some sort of spiritual guide or counselor. If they have fractures with that, specifically if they went into the military or were in gangs or prison or any kind of like corrupt masculine organizations or groups or entities, they could be getting into like those male retreats, right? Or where it's just like a retreat for men to go, and it's it's funny because it's just teasing. Anyway, but we were teasing some men about Brokeback Mountain and stuff. So, but anyway, they were. So these men, and maybe that's something like this masculine could have been raised around, or this feminine, both of you could have been raised around a lot of like bigotry, homophobia. This could be a same-sex connection, right? Because I am talking a lot about like the masculine and feminine energies, right? There's not a gender in tarot. But if you believe in that, if you are traditional and you are heterosexual, then that's why there's room for that as well, to say that a female can be operating out of a masculine energy, right? It's all energy, or vice versa, right? Anyway, get away from that. We'll reconvene for class later on that. So yeah, they could be going to some kind of like retreat, or like linking up with men around them or masculines around them to do something that is like more divinely aligned. It's not this fractured, grotesque version of it. It's not this version that turned them into a beast. It's like the X-Men, right? It's like all the mutants are over here, but we're using our superpowers for good, right? So X-Men, something like that. Pisces energy as well. Could be like a brother-sister dynamic here, or like a sibling. We've had a lot of sister energy in the last few readings, where it's there's like a sibling or somebody that's close to them that's maybe the only representation of feminine energy that is pure. Someone could have lost a sibling, right? There's a lot of, and with that kind of little fairy godmother, the little blue fairy godmother, and the Sleeping Beauty card, it's like maybe in dreams somebody is speaking. There's a feminine deity or ancestor or someone that is a spiritual guide that's here to, like, maybe a grandmother was the only buffer for like an abusive father or something. Those are very specific messages, but they're here for somebody. And there is this there's like this presence and this, it's like confidence. It's this feminine ancestry, and then there's a masculine ancestry. So maybe each of you are getting this, and those guides are linking you up. They're like orchestrating this meeting so that you two will come together. Don't the fairy godparents do that? The godmothers, don't they do that? I haven't seen Sleeping Beauty in a long time. But you know, there's always that like dark feminine energy that's trying to, probably tells you a lot more about Disney than anything, as a creator, but or a really good thief, because all these stories and movies are not original anyway. So yeah, there's something about like, this is original, this is pure, this is the truest version of love that either one of you have ever experienced, and your ancestors are here. You have a spiritual team that is really like trying to orchestrate this. So that's why you might find yourselves like always passing each other, or always around each other, or always like, well, it's like the collision is coming. But it's not going to be a collision where there's not going to be any injuries here, right? This is like when stars collide. Isn't that a song? When stars collide, or a line in a song? Is that, who is that? I feel like it's like Snow Patrol or Coldplay or something like that, when stars collide. Anyway, if you know, let me know. That might be what I title this anyway, because that's the last thing I will remember. So I hope that there was something in here for you, collective. This is coming together. The messages are pretty consistent here with this collective that's has not come into their union yet. It will be worth the wait, right? With the world here. I can show you the world. And then the waterfall. Okay, with Ariel's waterfall. Life is a waterfall. So a quick little story from my childhood. With my friends, 2 female friends, girl friends, because we were in elementary school. We were going to do a talent show, and we were going to do Waterfalls by TLC. We had practiced it. I was going to be Left Eye. I had the whole rap down. It was good. We were hardcore elementary school kids. We were going to do this. But it's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful message, Don't go chasing waterfalls. That's the rabbit, running away and always go, 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 that cardinal energy. Anyway, on the day of the talent show, they said, oh, that's not appropriate. You have to change it. So last minute we changed it, and we were going to do, it was between The Lion King's Can You Feel the Love Tonight and Aladdin's I Can Show You the World, but there were 3 girls doing that, and we thought that would be a little bit weird. So we did, like, none of them were very cool anyway, especially because we were going to do waterfalls. It was like, and we ended up doing Can You Feel the Love Tonight, and it was so corny. It felt so corny, but more Leo energy there. And my childhood friend, one of them was a Leo. I don't remember the other girl. So yeah, Leo energy there, but Can You Feel the Love Tonight? So maybe something's going to happen tonight. Maybe this person will ask you out tonight whenever you watch this. They might message you or something. And that also feels like with the DreamWorks there, DreamWorks and Disney. But with the Piscean energy of communicating in dreams, yeah, that's Can You Feel It Tonight? So they are sending you love in the meantime. It's like they are sending you love in your dreams. So you might be having dreams where you guys are just hanging out together. They could be erotic dreams, right? They could be and Okay, and maybe they've sent you a message through your dream, but it came through mixed. You know, like if you have a dream where your person cheats on you, you wake up and you look over at them like, you son of a bitch. You know, it's like you might be kind of mad about your experience with this person in your latest dream or something, and they're like, oh yeah, maybe I should just like come into the 3D and stop dicking around with the 5D, because I'm a masculine. And even though we all have masculine and feminine within us, and this masculine does feel like they are practiced in the 5D magic, they're also like, okay, that's not really my world, that's the feminine's world, and I'm just like, it's not my home, I don't have the home field advantage here, and maybe I'm a little in over my head, so I should just come back into my world of the 3D and rule that and make this shit happen. So yeah, when stars collide. So yeah, more Aquarius energy there, but stars represent healing, and then also the sun is our star, so Leo energy there. So, and those are all fixed sign. Those are both fixed signs. Scorpio's fixed sign. You could be dealing with a Taurus as well, right? I didn't have any major Taurus cues in there, but that's the other fixed sign. So okay, that's it. That's it for now. I think that's plenty. I hope there was something in here for you, and until next time, I wish you well.